Always a thrill pulling into St. Thomas. Blake Shelton cruise. That's the Sky High bar right there. It's a smoking area up there, so it makes it not the greatest. If you're a non-smoker, it is. Coast Guard there. I thought it might be the pilot boat. Pulling into St. Thomas here. Blake Shelton cruise. Look at that gun on the front. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, be some nice duty. Coast Guard here in St. Thomas. How are you? Good, sir. Blake Shelton Cruise has been incredible so far. Great people on NCL. Very friendly staff, very helpful people. There's one on the NCL staff that said, yeah. Kind of funny. Hey, here we are. It's a little bit higher up. Here we are. Pulling into St. Thomas. Mid-October 2012. It's about, golly, 85 degrees. The sun is really hot. Scott Lara 1961 on Twitter on the Blake Shelton Cruise. Yeah, up here on this deck, the sun deck up here, kind of nice. Yeah, you definitely want your sunscreen today. Man, it is hot up here. Now, it's going to be interesting to see where we pull in. When we're here on NCL, we pull in on when we turn left here. But if we turn over there to the right, let's see if that's going to be like the downtown area, because that's going to be a lot easier for us to walk into town. If we go to the left, like we usually do, you got to take the bus or take a cab over to the main part of town. So that's going to be interesting to see, because the times we've been here before have only been on the Holland America line. So we'll see how that goes. NCL Pearl, nice ship. Shout out to my friend Cruiseman 3000 on Twitter, Sean Ford, who's a huge fan of NCL. Look at this. It's 7:45 in the morning. Blake Shelton cruise, NCL Pearl. Beautiful day here in St. Thomas. And just a quick review while I'm here. Boarding the Pearl took a little while. I think we got to the cruise port around 12:30, and there's a long line outside. And it moved fair, at a okay pace, I guess. We got up to the door, and then you go through security. Security went very fast. I'm surprised how fast that went. After security, quickly went to the check-in desk, and that went very quickly as well. That's where, between that long line at the very beginning, which was, 30 minutes, once we passed the check-in station, where you give them your credit card and they give you your room key, that's when the holdup was. It seemed like it was a mile to get to where you would board the ship. And so that's the only thing I could really throw a rock at NCL about, was the amount of time it took to board. And I've talked to a lot of people on ship, and they were not happy with the time to get on board. I guess you really can't compare the Miami cruise port to like Jacksport, where I usually sail out of on the Carnival Fascination or Fort Lauderdale. But I don't know. I just think the Port of Miami and NCL could do a whole lot better with the boarding process. So, other than that, the food on board's okay. Of course, you got all these specialty restaurants on board, and I haven't, and I probably won't go to any of the specialty restaurants. I've heard that Cagney's is great, but I went to the Indigo last night and had a ribeye, which it did not seem like a ribeye to me. And the service was fair, but again, you got to kind of compare it. As you who follow me on Twitter and Facebook know, I'm a huge fan of Holland America Line, and of course that's 5-star, and the service I think is just incredible on Holland America Line. So I guess the big question is, would I sail on NCL again? I would have to say yes. If it was the right price, I probably would, but I think for the most part, I probably, on a scale of 1 to 10, I got to give NCL probably a 4. It's going to be interesting to see how Breakaway and Getaway and these new ships are. And of course, you got to deal, I don't want to say deal with, but of course you got to have the kid factor there too. With NCL, you're going to have more kids probably than with Holland America Line. Of course, this week, October 14th through the 21st, on the Blake Shelton cruise, there have not been very many kids. There's only, from what I understand, there's like 70 kids on board. A couple of them are in strollers. I haven't really seen any teenagers walking around. Maybe 10 or 15, and they're very well behaved. They're not, going down the handrails and, tipping over Coke machines and acting crazy. So, and actually I saw this performer last night, McKenna Faith. She's 17 from St. Louis, from Missouri. Excuse me, from California. She's from California, and videoed her last night as she was up on deck singing, and she's very excited to be here on the Blake Shelton cruise. She hasn't got a label yet, but she's a very nice young lady, very nice family. So that's been nice. And of course with Blake Shelton, security people really kept him contained, if you will. He would walk here and there on the ship, and there were people all around him, and you could wave to him. And I think if we're up to Blake, he wishes he didn't have security people and could just hang with the fans, but the security people really kept him protected, which I can appreciate. Neil McCoy has been very accessible. He walks up and down the decks. People are shaking hands with him, giving him hugs. So that's really, really just a class act, and I've been tweeting Neil McCoy, going back and forth with him. I met Lee Bryce the other night. Very nice guy, very friendly. So this is just, it's been a nice cruise, and I think, there were a couple of cabins that hadn't been sold, but, Blake was saying that, he would like to do this again next year as long as it wasn't during hunting season. So we'll see what ship we have on the right side there. It's going to be interesting. I wonder if there's going to be a Holland America ship here today. I have to run over there and say hi to them. St. Thomas here, mid-October 2012. Scott Lara 1961 on Twitter. Glad to see we're pulling in here at 7:45 in the morning. I was kind of disappointed yesterday with pulling into San Juan, Puerto Rico. I think we got in there like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and we had to leave like at 8. So if anybody want to do shore excursions or anything like that, we really weren't there a very long time. And I don't know why that is. I know when we were on Holland America, we pulled in probably like at noon or 1, but we stayed till like 10 or 11 or something, which makes it nice if you have family or friends in San Juan. You can spend some time with them. So my gut feeling is we're going to come to the right, and if not, if we go to the left, we're going to be further away from town. But we will see here very quickly. See that Norwegian ship over to the starboard side of the ship. Again, I'm shooting through this glass, so hopefully you can see this okay. That's the crew pool down there. Little pool for the crew. Crew has been very friendly, very nice. And that's one thing that I've got to give NCL some credit for. The crew has been very friendly. Anytime you say hello, they say hi back. Smiling, happy people, which is really, hats off to Kevin Sheehan. Nice people here on the NCL pool. Give him a pat on the back. Undercover boss, CBS. Now I guess that's the sun, Norwegian sun, if I can see from this far with my bifocals. Come on, let's turn right. Turn right. Turn right. Don't go left. What's amazing to me, too, are these little boats that are out here. People, live on them and take their even smaller boats into town, I guess, to get food. I'm going to get out behind this glass here. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to see when I play it. Here we go. Yeah, let's come over here, and then I definitely won't be shooting through the glass. You just can't beat St. Thomas. What a great place. It's really nice. And I'm going to find a place for Wi-Fi so I can upload some videos here from the Blake Shelton cruise. Scott Lara 1961 on Twitter. Pulling into St. Thomas on the Blake Shelton cruise. Beautiful day. And I hope we come to the right. If we do, we'll pull ahead of the sun and be just steps from downtown St. Thomas, which will make it really nice for everybody. Not have to take those cabs or buses over, because that is quite a ride over here. And it feels like we are coming to the right, so that's a good thing. Could not have picked a better day to pull into St. Thomas. Just really nice outside today. Yeah, this will be really nice. First time we pulled in over here. Again, the Norwegian sun off our starboard side. You see on that top deck there, at the back, with that covering over the top of it, I think it's the Great Outdoors, the same as ours over here on the Pearl. That's a great place to go for food. I mean, you just go right past, what I refer to as the Lido deck, I guess they call it the Garden Cafe up there. You just walk to the back of the ship, and there's a buffet back there. You have a nice cup of coffee. Really a nice area back there. You got a bar, so it's that's nice. I really like that. October 17, 2012, Blake Shelton cruise pulling into St. Thomas. Blake Shelton cruise has been incredible. I mean, just, you know, the artists are great. They have these great shows all throughout the ship. You know, up on the pool deck and in the different lounges, there are different acts that are playing during the day and at night, so you get to see all of them. There are 2 wristbands, and I'll show you that real quick. Like, you get a green wristband, and that was like for the first show, and there's like a purple one or something for the second show. So that's the way they're able to take, you know, the almost 3,000 people on here. So, you know, that's like for the headline acts, like for Blake Shelton or for Lee Bryce or Easton Corbin and those guys that you can, you know, be sure to see those. The thing is, though, man, the lines were really long going in there into the main shows. And you had to get there super early if you were going to get a halfway decent seat. But Blake Shelton was just off the chain, very funny, very friendly up there on deck, on the stage. There's this one lady wearing like one of those beer things over their head, the beer bucket, and she wore that thing like 24/7, it seemed like, and Blake was giving her a hard time. Got to do a special shout out to Flying Dutchman Travel who've put this together. Just incredible people. Shout out to Joan. Joan, thank you. Thanks to everyone at Flying Dutchman. Just incredible, hard-working people working that front desk down there, the hospitality desk. Flying Dutchman Travel. Now you will see some people on the balconies there. I know if you can see them or not, but they're probably saying, "Oh, Blake Shelton's on that cruise. I wonder if we see him." Well, Blake Shelton actually left yesterday as soon as we pulled into Puerto Rico and had to fly back to LA for doing taping for season 4 of The Voice. So Blake Shelton left us yesterday. Funny thing, I tweeted about Blake yesterday when we were in San Juan, and I tweeted like at Blake Shelton. Blake Shelton, an incredible performer. However, I think he was drunk the entire time on the cruise, and he retweeted that to his 2 million followers and said, "I can confirm that." So thanks, Blake. Appreciate you giving Scott Lara 1961 on Twitter a shout out to your 2 million fans. And yes, Blake was drunk most of the time, and he was really funny. Nice guy, very nice guy. Now, Sun must be a different class of ship, because over here on the Pearl, we have a huge basketball court on the back. You see the basketball court right over there. If I'm not mistaken, I think Pearl is a jewel class. For more questions on NCL, you can follow Sean Ford at Cruiseman3000 on Twitter, the expert on NCL. And he loves them, I'll tell you that. I'm going to walk over here to the starboard side. Again, as I was saying, like these boats, wouldn't it be cool to live on one of these boats? And if you, I don't know if you can see this at this distance, but like they have these little boats that are right behind the bigger boats. You just jump in those little boats and go into town, get your milk and bread, and come back to your boat. How cool is that? Beautiful St. Thomas. So usually we're pulling down there, and you're really far away from town there. You know, a lot of people here on the Blake Shelton cruise saying it's their first cruise and they really enjoyed it. And so far we've had incredibly great weather. Before we left, there was a hurricane or tropical storm Rafael moving up through San Juan, and it was looking, 50, 60, 70 mile an hour winds. So that always, puts up a red flag for you when you're about to go on a cruise and you see a tropical storm or a hurricane out there. So glad that passed by. I think it's heading up toward Bermuda. So we definitely were spared high winds and high seas, which was very, very nice. Special shout out to the Weather Channel for giving us that great weather. weatherchannel.com. Or actually weather.com, sorry. Scott Lara 1961 on Twitter. Special shout out to Firehouse Subs with the pork and slaw sandwich. Founded by firemen. Firehouse Subs. Firehouse Subs should have a place in St. Thomas. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe Chris and Rob will get a franchisee to open up shop down here in St. Thomas. You know, look at those houses up there. Aren't those? I mean, you may not be able to see them from this distance, but I mean, can you imagine living up there, looking down on the water, seeing the cruise ships coming in? That town looks like almost asleep. It's a fun drive going up that road over there, up to the top of the mountain. Oh my gosh. Every time we've been here, you know, we've taken the bus up there doing a tour, and Marty will be digging her hand in my arm because they drive really close to the edge of the mountain. So she says, "Oh, we're gonna fall over," but haven't yet. What's going to be interesting is to find the free internet. Free Wi-Fi. Let's go back over here to the starboard side and then we'll call it quits. How about let's go over here? From St. Thomas, on board the Blake Shelton cruise, October 14th through the 21st, 2012. NCL Pearl, Scott Lara 1961, on Twitter. Peace.